We're here at the Snowbank entry point. We're heading out for a 3-night, 4-day trip here. We're gonna do a loop around up to Ima, Thomas, down to Insula, and kind of back out through the numbers chain to Lake 1. So as you do on any good Boundary Waters trip, you start packing in the parking lot before you go in. One of the things we're gonna focus on this trip is when we get down to Insula and Hudson and the numbers chain, we're gonna check out some of the sites where significant events happened on the Pagami Creek Fire. There's a fantastic documentary on YouTube that kind of highlights the story of 6 of the forest rangers that responded to the fire to evacuate people from the lakes and campsites. And they had an incredible, harrowing story that's really well documented. And you've got this is a fire shelter. Go to kind of where those rangers made their kind of last stand against the fire and ultimately deployed their fire shelters, and check that area out and experience the landscape from that island. And obviously there's no fire right now, but interested to see what that looked like. So we're crossing Snowbank right now. We're headed over to the portage from Snowbank to Disappointment. We're on to Disappointment Lake. We got Kelsie in her new hat. What a hat! Wow, wow. Max, he stole my sweatshirt
Alpaca,
from me.
baby.
Yeah. And Kari, hey Kari.
Airhead?
All right, we just finished the portage from Asub into Jitterbug now. We passed about, boy, there must have been 3 or 4,
200 people?
200 people? 50 groups? No, I think they all got bunched up on these little portages here. This portage we just did, the landings were kind of tight, so I imagine everybody was just stacked up trying to get out. But we took a detour. We're on Gibson, and we paddled over to the north end of the lake where there's a portage and some big falls. So we're gonna go check that out now. on Ima here. We got a plane coming in. Float plane. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. We're here on Ima. We looked at a couple sites, but this one of the first ones on the north side of the lake was open, which was great because that's kind of where we were. We don't have to paddle much farther, so we are gonna get set up and settled in.
Light other stuff on fire.
I know. How realistic do you want the recreation to be, Mark?
Not that real.
Max has even like had a sip of water. Yeah.
We are packing up here on Ima.
What just happened? Shot put.
Just spent one night here. We got in kind of late in the afternoon. Hopefully get down to Insula today. We've got some plans around there. We're gonna plan to camp on Insula. We've got a long paddle here across Thomas Lake, so I'll give some background on what we're doing and the Pagami Creek Fire and the events that transpired. So back in 2011, September of 2011, there was a relatively small fire burning behind Lake 2, and then on September 10th and 11th, some rangers, actually I think it might have been 8 rangers, but the story kind of follows 6 of the rangers that were sent in to evacuate campsites, close down parts of the park, and then as they were kind of in the process of doing that on September 12th, the fire made really an unprecedented run across the park Weather conditions were perfect for it. Caught everybody off guard. The 6 of the rangers kind of had to make a run from the fire across Insula Lake. 4 of them ended up on an island, a little spit of land out in the middle, and 2 of them had to actually ditch into the lake and deploy their fire shelters to save themselves from the fire that had fully entrapped them on that lake. It was a really bad situation. Fortunately, they had gotten everybody off of the lake, so there weren't any public out there. But it's honestly a miracle that nobody was killed in that event. But they made a lot of really good decisions at really critical points in time from what we can gather, and likely saved the lives of some campers and their own lives in the process. So.
All right, so we are making our way down the south side of Thomas Lake, headed to a couple portages on our way to Insula.
Everybody ready?
That way. Thank you.
That way.
That way. Here, come down here. I'll push you over.
Made it to Insula. We stopped on Williamson Island here. It started to mist, rain a little bit, so it was a nice time to stop. We're gonna do lunch.
Take a bite, tell me what you think.
We had to retreat to the woods. Started raining.
I'm just happy to be starting out dry.
Now it's coming. All right,
Oh my gosh, you have a portable cutting board?
yeah, and he ate one this morning.
That's right. I ate one yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. How's that for seasoning?
Idiot.
No!
All right, Max,
Can I
turn.
have one chance at redemption?
Give Tusky another chance.
Oh, it tastes really good.
See?
You made it.
That was a big catch.
Hey, you ready?
Yeah, hit me over here.
I'm not gonna throw it that high. That was too much.
Yeah,
Ready?
that was too hard.
Oh!
Well,
Peanut butter cup. Oh my gosh. Interesting choice here. Of not. Hey. There we go.
Good morning. We're paddling Lake Insula this morning. We stayed at Williamson Island last night, which is kind of one of the farthest north campsites on Insula, so we pretty much have the whole lake to paddle today. We're planning to go through Hudson and then over to Lake 4 and hopefully get into Lake 3 or Lake 2 to camp tonight. Still paddling Insula here. It is foggy and the fog has not burned off yet. Putting our navigation skills to the test here. But it is pretty. All right, so we're here on the spit of land that the 4 forest rangers made their final stand on and deployed their fire shelters. Looking that way is the gap that 4 of them were traveling through. The other 2 rangers that had gone on the south side of that little island ended up ditching in the lake, kind of straight out there. They said in their story that both shores that you can kind of see, honestly, those shores are pretty closer than I thought. This whole channel through here is a lot tighter than I would have thought, but both shores were on fire when they made it to this side. The fire had completely entrapped them, and yeah, we're gonna deploy this thing and try and get in it. They said when they were deploying theirs it was 40 to 60 mile an hour winds, obviously choking smoke, terrible conditions. We've got it a little easier here today, but we're gonna see how this goes. All right, here we go. Gotta be quick. Oh, that's what I was afraid of. They don't make them like they used to.
Come on, Tusky. Fire is roaring around you.
I know. Wow, this is stiff. I've reached full burrito.
How is it in there?
It's very stiff, and it holds up like it.
It's not like a blanket.
No, not at all. All right.
We can both get in. Ooh, it does smell.
Dude, you gotta try laying down in it though. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, they're like little tiny holes.
I think that's because it's just old.
It's from the 70s.
Yeah.
Really?
Actually, shouldn't
You don't think they're intentional?
No.
use it in the fire anymore.
This is actually from the 70s? I think so. I gotta get out of here. Holy shit.
I'm freaking out.
Claustrophobia's kicking in. He's going down. All the way down. Not that good.
So right about here is where I would imagine that the other two forest rangers decided they couldn't make it any farther and ditched in the lake. So pretty sure this is the outcropping that they swam up to and held on to. So seeing the two sites where the groups ended up, the 4 rangers on the little island and the 2 rangers that ended up in the water and on the rocks, the thing that really stands out is just how close everything is together. You know, looking at the aerial maps and everything, it looks like bigger water, looks like more space, but I can only imagine if both shorelines are engulfed in flames. I mean, it's not as big as I was expecting. So it's a miracle that nobody was killed in this. This is the portage landing on the Insula side of the portage between Hudson and Insula. One of the groups was camping here, and their job was to stop people from the Insula side going towards Hudson as the fire was progressing. And then at least 4 of them ended up on this portage landing before they pushed off and made the race across Insula to try and outrun the fire. Kind of between Hudson and Lake 4. There's a portage here with some really cool rapids. So there were at least 1 or 2 groups of rangers that were camped on Lake 3, helping clear the powwow trail and the campsites on Lake 3 as the Pagami Creek Fire was spreading. And they were camped on some of these islands on the southeast side of the lake. And one of the nights, the fire wasn't supposed to be this far, but one of the nights I think they were settled in, and they noticed the fire was jumping from island to island. We're on an island here, camped. And there's a number of little islands here that are really pretty close together. And they noticed the fire started jumping from island to island. And so they said they had to pack up in the middle of the night and head farther east to get away from the fire. All right, Max and I are here. We paddled over. We're on the south end of Lake 3. We paddled over to the little portage that heads up and connects with the Powwow Trail. Listening to the stories of the rangers that were here during the Pagami Creek Fire, part of their task was to clear the Powwow Trail and make sure there weren't campers on it or hikers as the fire was approaching. So I tell an incredible story of the wind changing directions and realizing that that's the fire sucking oxygen, which must have just been terrifying, running down a portage trail where you're surrounded by trees. So this is the Powwow Trail heading south. We got Horseshoe Lake and the Powwow Trail heading north. Woo! Feisty boy. Fishing here on Lake 3. Got an amazing rainbow. Fish on, fish on. Wow. Swinging the boat. Look at that thing. Nice catch, man. All right, so a little unexpected twist here.
So what happened was, Mark said, huge fish just jumped. I sprint to the boat, I grab the rod, and here's what we wind up with.
You're free. You're free.
Free surgery, Lakeside. Free Lakeside surgery. She's out, baby.
Nice job, Kari.
Who
Nice
happens
job.
to be my wife. As I sprint as fast as I can down to the canoes. And I'm like, this is the lure I want to use. I grab the rod, but it's tangled. And as soon as I unhook it, there's enough tension in the line for it to go. So I now have this barbed hook stuck into the middle of my pinky finger. Mark yells down, he says, "Are you okay?" And I respond, No, not okay. First thing we do is we cut the line, and so I have a little more mobility. So I start pulling on it without telling anyone, just to try to get it out of my finger.
By the time you got to me, your face was white as a ghost. He had to lay down. We laid him down on a rock over there. So he had one of these 3 hooks, and it was lodged like very deep into his finger. He was yanking it out, and we're like, don't do that. There's a barb on it. It's not going to work. It's going to shred your finger. I realized the most efficient way to get it out was going to be to pierce it through the other side of his finger. So,
and she pushed, it was extremely forceful, and I heard it pop as it came to the other side of my finger. And now I got a hook going in one side and coming out the other side. And the trick then was, how do we get the barb off? So Kari took a Leatherman tool, basically pruned the 3-pronged hook, and then nipped off the prong, or the barb rather, and then pulled it out the other side. And now I got some Neosporin on, I got a Band-Aid. Life is good.
Max's first time using the AeroPress.
So what happens here is it creates a high pressure, low pressure environment that we then use to extract the full flavor of the bean.
All right, good morning. We are paddling across. We just left Lake 3. We're into Lake 2 now. It's an extremely foggy morning. I'm sure you can see in the background. There's not much visibility, but we've got a pretty good idea of our route, so it should be fine. But very nice, another calm day. Paddling these lakes, it's incredible. We're gonna take the lower route out of Lake 1 to get back to the entry point. It's a little more interesting of a route, so.
Whoa. Can't lose you.
Nice work. Nice work.
Good call.
Yeah. Nice work. Sorry, did I hit your bad finger? Did I just high five your... All right, we are back at the Lake 1 entry point. The girls are going to get the other vehicle and bring it back from Snowbank, and we're going to get packed up and leave. We had a pretty eventful trip. We had a little bit of a scare last night. Max had a fishing hook in his finger. He's all good now, but Kari was able to get it out. It was incredible. Could have been a totally different end to our trip if we hadn't gotten that hook out. So
Smooth. We were able to stay the night and get out, yeah, at a comfortable pace.
yeah, so good last day. Pretty nice weather here, and we're gonna get on the road and get out of here. We'll see you later.